Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for my client Ted's Conjugate vlog, but a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, drop me a comment with your thoughts underneath or to say hello, I would appreciate it. Let's get over to the training. All right, we started off with a pin bench press. He only does closed grip pressing, yet of course his pecs have continued to get bigger in spite of that. You guys saw the before and afters. Hopefully I've put them up on both Facebook and YouTube. Some of the before and afters. He's come along pretty well. With mostly lean gains, right? People will notice that he's considerably bigger in 8 months and stronger. He's gained a little fat, but he has kept his abs. And I think that's the point we want to make when I tell guys lean bulking, right? You should have abs. Like, we should get to a point where we have abs and can see our abs year round. I mean, if we're going to be really fit, this is where you want to be. So even in his case with a bulk, he didn't lose his abs, and that's the idea. So if we look at the supplemental lifts on the max effort day, I took incline out here. I have it just on his dynamic day because quite frankly, I want to take stuff over and do a little more floor pressing and other stuff. So I have, because I was only doing one set of benching, back off benching. Now I want to do 3 sets, taking the incline out, and then we can add incline after speed bench. So what we're seeing here in this block, you're seeing that axle bar floor press. We're going to see pull-ups. So he's doing some incline hammer curls. I let him pick his own biceps. He just changes them every workout. And that's fine. He has great biceps. Doesn't train for physique. He trains for strength and athleticism. And he still has a good physique, though, because he trains biceps and he stays lean. So on top of that, we have then weighted pull-ups. I do the strict press. And then, of course, we definitely want to do triceps. So we hammer triceps super hard for him because, again, he does a little bit of martial arts and boxing. He does all this pressing, close grips, so it's triceps. So we put a lot of effort into those. So in his case here, we're going to do some skull crushers, so just doing some normal extensions here this week. Right. Last week we were doing them on an incline. The block before we were doing the JM floor presses. We'll probably work those back in coming up here soon for another rotation because they carry over really well. But we've hit some PRs on some of the closed grip pressing. We hit an overhead press PR. We got a 205 strict press. Keeping in mind we're up to 190 on our bulk. He's 190 pounds right now. So it's 15 pounds more than his body weight on a strict press. You know, we'll take that, right? A lean guy who can strict press 15 pounds over his body weight and saying, hey, we're going to eventually get to 225. Yeah, we'll take it. So for this week, we did 485 on a deficit deadlift, which was a PR. I put up in some other shorts and reels for you guys. Obviously, that was a max. Notice he's fighting with it a little bit there at his sticking point. Then for other supplemental work, we do various belt machine squats and stuff. But what I have here is just some posterior chain work in this. I don't think I got machine squat footage from day 1. I might have from day 4 of the workout, but we were running out of speed. I don't want to make these vlogs much past 8 minutes, so I kind of pick and choose our best stuff. So here we're really pushing these cambered bars, and I'm doing these for a second block. A lot of times I've been rotating this, but I feel like for him we get a lot out of these for the posterior chain, and as much as I might like the safety bar for the grappling and other stuff, I do feel like in his case that posterior chain and the hamstrings and everything need to get stronger. That's what's limiting his squatting and deadlifting right now. So I want to continue to push those up. So we end up doing good mornings. We do reverse hypers. We do glute ham raises. No footage of that in here this week, but you guys see enough of it. All right, reverse hypers. You guys know how I feel about these. I love them. And it doesn't matter that I'm only deadlifting this last workout for myself. Doesn't mean that's what the clients do. In his case, though, we do tons of the reverse hyper because we need to keep that low back recovering. His volumes are very high, right? With his training volumes being as high as they are, we need to stay on top of these things all the time, right? So I'm having to make sure all this recovery is done in here. Again, keep in mind his energy turnover is high, his volume's high. He walks a lot with his job. So with that being said, also keep in mind his workloads are higher than my average client, right? They're higher than my average client. And it's because he has an athletic background, former track and field type athlete. So again, his conditioning is always high. So we use that to our advantage. All right, for speed benching, we're obviously doing heavy bands right now. The bands may be a little too heavy, I feel like, because his bar speeds are a little slow, but it still counts as speed work, but I'd like to see it a little faster. I need to remember to tell him the bands may be a little bit heavy here, right? Because that speed is slowing down, but it also is definitely maximum compensatory acceleration. All right, then I threw some of the incline footage in here because I did have some of it from the second workout. And I do want people to see we still push the incline really hard. It's also one of his max effort lifts, right? It is a max effort lift for us, but here he is doing his rep work on it. And again, keep in mind, we've hit a 225 incline bench for him. So again, for a guy who's 190, pretty reasonable and respectable. All right, for the dynamic lower, we're going to have SSB box squats against bands. He's got a good band setup now. He can make it work, so we run the bands with these. So again, this rotation, this is what we're doing for this block. We're running this, and then I rotate these back around. Obviously, we'll go back over to straight bar. Maybe if he has a buffalo bar, work one of those in, just to rotate through the different stuff. But we've got the safety bar, so we use it a lot. I like safety bars a lot for speed box work because, again, it's just so easy to get set up. And I think that's one of the perks when we're trying to run. Like in his case, he does 6 doubles on this and 6 doubles on the pulls. It's so easy to get set up really quick and have 30 seconds between the sets. But you guys see I kind of left a little bit of this footage in so you guys can just kind of see what we have as far as breaks. So he's just running them as one little clip and just running over and redoing them again. But a lot of times on the stuff we want 30 to 60 seconds between sets for speed work. I know it's been noted that Westside, I had someone who pointed out, if you look at their roll footage, there's no way with that many guys are doing them that far apart. So they don't always practice what they preach with that as far as the speed work. But generally, if we can get it down to 30 seconds, that's kind of ideal. So there he is going back for another attempt in that same clip, right? So again, trying to keep the breaks short and we keep explosives high. But for him, I do 6 doubles on speed squats and then 6 doubles on speed pulls, and you'll see the speed pulls coming up next. And so I rotate for him stuff like conventional and sumo, and I've even working in sometimes a little bit of deficit stuff, right? So we work these in different 3-week waves. So I change his bars every 3 weeks. We change the stance every 3 weeks. So we'll do sumo for 3 weeks and a conventional variation for 3 weeks. And that's how we do these in terms of the waves. But yeah, so it's pretty much the end of this vlog. This is the end of the speed work. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys and gals next time.